Hello. I appreciate you doing this interview for me today. Tell me a little bit about yourself and why you became a counselor.
Well, my name's Harry Barron. I'm about to turn 60 years of age. I was in the ministry for 3 decades, and one of the reasons I became a counselor is I had a lot of my degrees in psychology, and also I felt that there were a lot of things I could accomplish in the counseling field, and I could help people more than I could in the ministry. I definitely believe a lot of problems are caused by biochemical imbalances and need to be addressed in a medical way. And also I believe that there are a lot of cognitive distortions people have, and there's a lot of defense mechanisms people use. And I like one of the premises of counseling in which we need to show warmth, positive regard, and we need to show empathy. And I felt that through doing these kind of methods, I could help people in a lot better way than I was in doing what I was doing.
Okay. Why private practice?
Private practice is something that's unique. I, along with my wife and Wellspring, the company we own, we believe in autonomy and we believe in freedom. And being in private practice, we only have to answer, of course, to the laws and the statutes of the state of Georgia and into our profession. And if we were in something besides private practice, it's an ethical issue. A lot of times you have what you think is best for the patient, which you feel you really need to stand up for, and then you have the rules of the company you're working for, and sometimes they can conflict. And being in organizational settings most of my life, I feel that I want to be answerable to our counseling board, and I want to be answerable to our patients, to my own conscience, and to my board. And that's all.
Have you had any experience other than private practice? And if so, where and what did you like or dislike about it?
The one experience I had was in my internship at the hospital, and it was good, and I liked it, but there were a lot of rules and regulations, and then sometimes I wasn't involved in it for about 6 months. It was all right, but I hadn't really been in a setting in which, for pay other than private practice.
What are the benefits of private practice over any other types of counseling?
Well, the benefits of private practice is that you can sort of set your own schedule. My time clock's a little bit different than most, so I like sleeping in the mornings and I like working at night. So I usually will work 11 or 12 to 8 or 9 shift, and that fits in well with a lot of my clients because a lot of them don't have to take off work. They can come during after hours, so there's a benefit in that. Another benefit in private practice is that you can see as many patients as you want, or you can see less patients. You can free up your schedule to go on vacations, and you have a lot of flexibility that you wouldn't normally have. Plus, if you work hard and if you're diligent, then you're the master of how much you can make.
Okay. If you could change one thing about private practice, what would it be?
This is getting into controversy, especially being in the South. If there's one thing I could change about private practice, it would be that I think there needs to be, a lot of times, insurance companies won't necessarily take so many people in a certain area. I'd rather see a one-payer system in which all things are, in which all counselors are guaranteed to get paid with a minimum amount of copay, and in which it's more fairly regulated.
Okay. So you think that's a pretty controversial?
Well, that gets into some of the Obama system stuff, but I do ultimately believe that we have a system right now in which it works to a certain extent, and it's working for us, But there's so many counselors in one area, an insurance company won't necessarily let you be one of their providers because they have so many. And to me, that's not really fair. I do believe in the free market and in laissez-faire economics, but the way it's set up, it sort of blesses some and it doesn't bless others. So I think it ought to be more fair so that it can be based on more, the quality of the counseling. And a one-payer system would do that.
Okay. Speaking of payments, what percentage do you think of payments come from the insurance company, and about what percentage comes out of pocket for people?
Well, this has been one of the things that's been discouraging too. When we started off in practice probably about 7 or 8 years ago, there was about 70 to 80% of payments came. Well, when we first started, everything came from out of the pockets of people. But as we got on the insurance companies, about 70, 80% of the money came from the insurance companies. Now we're seeing very, very high deductibles that people have to work through. And now a lot of it, mental health is tied in with regular medical health. And the deductibles can be reached a lot sooner, but we're seeing larger copays. At one time, copays were on average about $25. Now it's not uncommon to see copays at $50 and $75. And to me, there's a lot of people that cannot afford that. So what they'll do is they will not seek treatment when they need treatment.
Gotcha. So you think that a one-payer system would help with that?
Yeah, but that's putting a lot of authority in the hands of the government. But, we have, it's very controversial, but I think something more fair, more equitable.
You'd like to see people be able to afford more treatment.
I like to see them be able to afford more treatment, and I like the coverage, which really isn't a one-payer system, but when I look at Amerigroup and I look at WellCare and stuff like that, they seem to be taking care of the providers, and they provide the adequate amount of treatment that needs to be paid at the lowest possible price for the individual.
Gotcha. And lastly, you've kind of touched on it a little bit, but what does your typical day and week look like, such as how many clients do you see, when do you start and end, that sort of thing?
Well, it varies. I'm usually here every day of the week. Wednesday, I take part of a day off. And then I do some groups at night. I see several people in the afternoon. But my average week will start off Monday. I will see about 8 patients. And then through the week, I vary between 7 to 10 patients a week, except on Wednesday.
You mean a day?
So, a day. So basically, I see between 30 to 40 patients a week.
Do you feel like that gets overloading at times?
Yes, we have a lot of paperwork, and paperwork's becoming more something I'm making greater effort to make sure all my paperwork is correct and up to date, and I use the SLAP method, or what's called the SOAP method. And but I think that I can pretty well keep up with it, and I usually do 50-minute sessions if I have a 10-minute relaxation session before the next client.
I see. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the process of private practice, the setting, the flexibility, anything else that you'd like to mention?
Well, in the process of private practice, we have a lot. We are eclectic in our therapy, because I think that each therapeutic or each theory-oriented philosophy has a lot to say. And I don't feel that I'm comfortable settling in with just one modality. And there's a lot that can be said for each. If there was one modality I would feel the most comfortable in, it would be cognitive behavioral. But as far as private practice, I think if we can have rooms that are set up to be comfortable, like a living room, or just like a real nice sitting room, that sets the patient at ease. And if we can have children's rooms that are set up with toys and different things to make them feel comfortable. I think if we can approach it in a warmth, with a warmth type environment in which a person feels at ease, I think we're most likely to have positive results.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being willing to be interviewed today. And
Well, you're very welcome.
okay, thank you.